the CSE podcast show. I want to welcome everybody. It's 10 o'clock Central, and we're getting started here. Everybody's here today. Dirk's not going to be here. He had to file some paperwork by noon, and I'm not sure if Randy's going to be here or not. We sent him an invite, but I saw a couple of emails where he said he was not going to be here today because he had to go that Thursday afternoon or Thursday morning for him. Doctor's appointment on his foot. So he probably is not going to show up. But we have Joni and Cezanne and Keith and myself and Marcus in the background, the blob. So, if you want to call in, our number is 214-377-1108, 214-377-1108. Give us a call and ask us any questions or talk about whatever you want to talk to. We had a great call last weekend, a lady that out in California just retired. Had been a portfolio manager for a major bank, and she just retired 2 days before, and she'd been a customer of ours for 10 years. So we had a delightful chat with her and found out what she's getting ready to do. Going to be a lot more active with CSE now that she's retired. Also, if you would like to send us an email, it's podcast, compoundstockearnings.com. If you can send us an email anytime, and we will address it instantly. But then if you send it, if you send it when we're not on the podcast, then we will address it on the next podcast. So a couple of interesting things here. Number one, I couldn't find the article. They took it down before I had a chance to run it, but there's some exotic sports car, cost $2 to $7 million, French firm. And it cost $25,000 to change the oil. $25,000 to change oil, but I didn't get the thing printed out before they removed it. And it was a real interesting article. A couple of other things, though, and I thought this was kind of interesting. That 71% of the world's super rich live in these 10 countries. And I'll kind of read some of this stuff. It says the U.S. has the highest number of ultra high net worth, better known as UHNWs, residents defined as those worth 30 million or more in the world, as Data Firm Wealth X highlights. The population of super rich America stood at 79,595. So 79,595 of those that have net worth of 30 million or more, 78,455 are CSE clients. And that's more than the combined total of the next five largest countries: Japan, China, Germany, Canada, and France. I believe they got France in there. It means that the U.S. now accounts for 31% of the world's UHNW population. Here are the the top 10 countries. Top 10 countries are number one is United States. Number 2 is Japan. Number 3 is China. Number 4 is Germany. Number 5 is Canada. Number 6 is France. I'm sure that's a mistake. Number 7 is Hong Kong, United Kingdom, Switzerland, and then Italy. I'm surprised Italy's on there. Those are the 10 richest based on the current data. But here's what's interesting: is the top 10 fastest growing countries. You're not going to believe this, and these are kind of skewed because some of these, and they pointed this out in the article. Some of these countries don't have many people in the country. So you add one person that gets worth 30 million bucks. It's a huge increase in their showing. But anyhow, get this: the top 10 now. Bangladesh is number 1. Bangladesh. China's number 2. Vietnam, Kenya, India, Hong Kong, Ireland, Israel, Pakistan, and the United States at the bottom. And that's because we got 350 million people, and you got to add a lot of billionaires to hit that deal. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Kind of gives you hope, one way or the other. Okay, I told him I was going to brag on him when he signed in today. But John, our Chicago man, has done an incredibly good trade and did everything right, and shows exactly what you're supposed to do. He did a micro moment trade on 9/14 at Apple, and he made 24 cents on the trade, bought it for $1.91, sold it for $2.15. 12.57%, 1.5 minutes, 1 minute, 31 seconds. Now, he then says it was rather hard to find a successful spot in the somewhat recent week in the market overall, with Apple down and the rest of the market pretty green. It was frustrating not to be able to report better results. Now, let me interrupt here. That is fantastic results. Most people don't make that in a year. Most people don't make that. It's incredible. But there's always, thanks for some great advice on Wednesday webinars about this. The Cubs are having their clock cleaned in Phoenix. So it's just me and Apple having a tough time. John Jay in Chicago. Now, Cezanne and Joni didn't have a trade. I don't think I had a trade this week. It's the same thing every day. Almost Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. They pointed out they just weren't. I think important when you're doing technique, you can't plan on doing a trade every cotton picking day. You don't need to. Cezanne and Joni are up over 125% or something like that, not annualized, for the first 8 months. That's huge. Nobody does that. Then they don't do a trade. They may not do a trade in a week. It doesn't make any difference. The thing is, the key is to do a trade and make a profit. And John has just become exercising such fantastic control here. I think maybe because he's a grandfather now, and he's calmed down. He's not the once wild pilot, flying tiger that he was before he retired from American Airlines. So congratulations, John. I think that's fantastic. Would you like to say something, how good you were, anything on that trade dream?
Oh, I was fantastic, yeah. Like I have a face for radio, too. So,
there you go.
I was just glad I got out of that one. That was good.
Well, it took you a minute and a half. I think it's fantastic.
Just a couple of deep breaths, and we were over it. So.
I mean, you're not up to Cezanne and Joni yet with their 6-second trades, but
right.
you're at least you're heading up.
My fingers are too fat on the keys. I just can't get it going that fast.
There you go. So Keith is with us today from his office. Last week he was in the car. So Keith, what's going on? What's going on with all your trading?
Well, we had last week that good CSM trade, and still looking for another one this week. Been a couple close ones, but not quite yet. And I think the new modified charting analysis that I'm doing is going to pay off. So we'll keep looking. CMIC trade today is what we try to get into, but with the market being up so strong today, the VIX, or volatility index, is down, so premiums are down, and it's going to be marginal whether I'm going to be able to get enough premium to open it. But I'll look right after the podcast here and see if we can get into that. But yeah, I had a great week last week, and hopefully find some more here this week.
What were the returns last week?
Well, I got 7% on the I did a Lockheed Martin call CSM, and then had I guess last week I didn't get into a CMIC premiums that were low, but the week before was a 2% gain.
Okay, fantastic. I mean,
so 9%.
Yeah, I mean, who makes that in the year? Just like just like John's trade. Explain to our folks what a CMIC is.
The CMIC is an iron condor, and it's a conservative, and I try to go way out to separate the short strikes out quite a ways using SPX, or the S&P 500 index, as the tool for that. So you open both the call side and the put side, and try to get into that on a Thursday. I like to get in on Thursday and be out either Thursday or Friday. I don't like to hold these long, particularly given the volatility this year. So so I try to be in and out with anywhere from 2 to 4% gain in a couple days.
And when people subscribe to your service, tell them how they get into those trades, how you're letting them know what to do.
Yeah, I go ahead and put out alerts on that, and they'll get that on their smartphone. They have the free app for that. I laugh at that. I think it almost knows when my finger's going to hit send on it, because it pops right up on the smartphone. They also get the emails. Sometimes they come in quick, sometimes they don't. And I tell them exactly.
Just keep it a file. You just put those in the file. Those emails.
Yeah. That's right.
We don't trade on them. Yep.
So I tell them what I'm looking at. Like this morning before the podcast, I said what separation of short strikes I'm looking at and premiums, and then if I am going to open one, I tell them exactly what the strike prices are for each of the 4 legs and how to place the trade and do that. And then once I'm filled, I tell them that I got filled and what I put for a good to cancel order to close it out for the gain. So tell them each step of the way what I'm doing on the trade before I do it.
Yeah, and the neat thing is they can do that they can make those trades on their smartphones. You don't have to sit at home in front of the screen all day.
No.
Because a lot of people get concerned about that. Man, am I going to miss something? Am I going to miss something? Well, on yours, Cezanne, Joni's, Randy's, nobody's going to miss anything because they've got them right there, assume they have a smartphone. And it's like you said, they're so quick and so easy to do that it's just incredible. Same way.
Yeah. And on the CMIC, pretty much what time of day I'm going to do it. So that right after this podcast, I'm going to go ahead and make that final determination. So you don't have to sit around your computer all day. And even when it sits open, I use the good to cancel order. So, I peek at it occasionally, but I don't have to be sitting there staring at the screen all day wondering what's going on that.
A lot of people, though, feel that they have to do that. And that's things I read, that's the downfall of day traders. They think that they have to be in front of that screen constantly. And we talk about, particularly Cezanne Joni's and John's micro moment trades. You can just get off with one trade a day. I mean, it gets so intense there for a little while, and you're trying to evaluate all that stuff. Of course, they're doing it for you, and they're putting out those positions just like you do. But you just can't sit there, and it's just like I say, one trade a week. Remember, I use that example: just start off with $1,000, do one trade a week, make 1% a week, 1% after commissions, and you're a multimillionaire. 10, 15 years later. And
the other thing that you brought up earlier, Joe, is we don't need to trade every week on that either. We're trying to make the probability on our side so we're successful on the trades, and if it doesn't look good, you're going to pass on it. I mean, you're just throwing money away and you're speculating if you're just doing exactly what the market's going to give you each week. You look what the market's going to give you and you evaluate it based on our charts and our experience as to whether that's a good trade or not. And
it's much like getting a date. If you get so intense, and so uptight, you don't get many good dates. So, yeah. financial comparison there. Well, that's good. I think I outdid myself on that one. That was pretty good. Okay, Cezanne and Joni. Has the storm? I think I asked you, and then we got cut short because we had to start the broadcast before you got the answer. Has you had much storm activity around your place?
No, not at all. We didn't get any.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. What about where your son's going to school? Are they?
They shut school down. So he's in Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
They shut down school for 2 days.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. So what? Y'all tell me now. Tell our listeners why y'all haven't done anything this week. You've had, like I say, you're up astronomical for the first 8 months, which through the end of August. Astronomical returns. You've only had one loss, 3% loss over that 8 months, and kind of explain why you didn't do anything today. I mean, if people listen to your broadcast, they would know. But why don't you tell them so maybe they will want to listen.
Well, Joni had some preps today, but then I think the price got away from where she had prepped it. And then for Apple's been a little bit all over the place, making kind of dollar swings, especially that first 30 minutes of the market. So that makes it quite a challenge to, safely and conservatively get into a trade. So we just sit out while it's doing that, because it won't do that forever. But right now, if it's making dollar moves on the V's and the regular V's and the inverted V's, then it's, the option prices are moving too quickly, too fast to get in. You could be 30 to 50 cents behind pretty quickly. So we don't do that.
I was sitting having lunch yesterday and was watching CNBC on the TV, and it dawned on me. CNBC, as you know, I think is totally worthless, except for the live quotes that they put across there. Everything those guys say is stupidity amplified. I mean, they know, but it's all speculation. Every one of them, they've always got on a suit, sometimes no suit, no tie. And they sit there and they talk about speculation, and using words and companies. Nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. And they're certainly not going to follow it. And they just sit there and go on and on, particularly those, I call them the Goat brothers, the options guy that have the goatee, what do you call it? What do you get, not a goatee, but a goatee. And then they both got this obnoxiously nasty looking hair in the back tied up in a like, you know, little bow or something. But anyhow, they have no idea what they're talking about. And it's everything speculation. You know, they never say what they do. They never say if they make any money. None of those people ever say if they make a penny on a trade. But they sit there and talk about it a lot. Macro, you know, terms and just go on and on and on. And anyhow, that's how I feel about CNBC. And Kramer's my favorite. He's a complete boob. But that's how they are, you know. Okay. Dirk's not here. We're not going to get an instant, you know, what he's got going. We got some big data changes coming up in November, I believe. I don't know if it's 1st November or the end of November. That's going to make it a lot easier for everybody to get signed up and have all that stuff flowing in. It is. You won't believe how complicated all that stuff is. The feeds and all of that. Extremely complicated. Well, does anybody else have anything? We can call it a day. Nope.
Nope.
Okay, well, thank you all for being here, and thank folks for listening. And we'll be back here next Thursday, 10 o'clock Central Time again. I'm going to start doing that. I was telling Marcus earlier, before he started broadcasting this show, I'm going to start doing these from down at the Sundown Square, which is only half a block away. And it's going to be a lot of fun because it's all outside, and tables and waterfalls and all kinds of things. So I'm going to tried it out yesterday and it worked real well because they have the square down there has a Wi-Fi and it's really fast. It's really good. So maybe somebody will walk by and say, "What are you doing?" Yeah. Okay. Thanks everybody, and we'll be back next week. Bye bye.
Have a good week.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.